as of this moment, let's go ahead and talk about something that I hope we can put on the calendar in the near future. I hope we can say, hey, by this time, X amount of days into the future, and X being a low number, we know who the starting quarterback for UNC is. Can we, and I say we, like we get to decide it, can Carolina and Belichick or Freddie Kitchens or whoever's making the decisions over there, Michael Lombardi, their GM, can we stop with the facade, the charade, the act, and just know that Gio Lopez is going to start at quarterback for UNC? I've seen coaches play the we don't know who's going to be the starter card, even if they know internally and they want to keep it so the right one runs the ball more, one doesn't. That's what I thought actually UNC was doing last year. Remember Connor Harrell and Max Johnson, and Mac Brown was going, I may not know until kickoff. Maybe they'll both play. And I hated it. And I said as much then, I just don't like handling the quarterback position that way. But I understood it because Blake Harrell runs a ton. He was a 4.4 guy, 4.4 40. Max Johnson, more of a traditional pocket passer. So I guess you could have kept Minnesota on edge a little bit on, do you need contains? Do you need spies in the defense? Or can you treat him more like a pocket passer? But the one thing they did was they at least hit it. Right, they did keep it hidden. They did not. Right, it was Connor Harrell and Max Johnson, I believe, are both at ACC kickoff. They played the game. UNC this year, it's like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because they're saying I don't know. There's a quarterback competition, and then treating Gio Lopez like the starter. We're at ACC kickoff. We talked to Gio Lopez, not Bryce Baker, not Max Johnson. No one else is there. The NIL money reports come out, and there's, again, some reports, and we don't get confirmations for the NIL stuff, although I think eventually we'll get the revenue share numbers maybe more public. But we don't get the NIL money public. But there are some reports out there that Gio Lopez is getting multiple $1 million a year, $2+ million a year, which would indicate starting quarterback money. And then I turn on ACC Kickoff or ACC Network today to catch up on what I was at the beach over the weekend, and I'm catching it up. And so I go back into my little archives, and they have the ACC tailgate tour, whatever they're calling it. They're going to every ACC training camp. It's Wes Durham, friend of the show. It's EJ Manuel, right? It's the squad. And they're at UNC for their 13th school that they visited. Belichick goes and talks to the team. Cool. Talks to the interview process, right? He sits down with the group. Cool. You hear much of the same thing that we've heard, right? It's all about improvement. There, blah, blah, blah. Talk about the quarterback battle. Who's next to be interviewed? Gio Lopez walks up there with all the strut of a starting quarterback, and then they have to ask him about the relationship between him and the other quarterbacks in this quarterback battle. And I'm just going like, I've never seen somebody. It's like they're I'm trying to think of a funny, it's like they stole my bike and stored it behind a chain link fence, and they're telling me they don't have it. And I'm going like, that's not a wooden fence. I can see through it. My bike is right there. And they're, no, I don't know where it is. I have no idea. Oh, really? It's a red bike? Didn't see it. It's on your porch. I see it behind. They're going like, quarterback competition could be anyone. Could be any of us. Heck, maybe we'll start Davion Goss and just run the Wildcat the whole time. Could be anybody. I see him right there. Gio, you're treating him like the starter. What am I missing? No, he's not the starter. Could be any of them. Who knows? What is going on here? That's where I'm at. That's the location of my brain. And maybe that's what Bill Belichick wants. Maybe this is the, what do they call it? The prestige of the magic trick he's pulling off. Let's get the local media really confused and talking about what we have going on over here with the quarterback. Meanwhile, he's working his magic on the defense. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying not to miss anything, but my brain keeps going to, why aren't they just telling us? By the way, Tennessee announced their starter over the weekend. Ohio State announced their starter over the weekend. These, like all of these other teams that played the same game are getting to the point where you just got to do it. You have to let the team rally around the guy for a second before opening kick. You have to let the players speak to the media and say how excited they are for the player. Gio Lopez, I'm sure, wants to have an interview that he doesn't have to talk about how awesome Bryce Baker and Max Johnson are as dudes. And even though they're competing, it's such a close-knit quarterback room. He wants to talk about throwing it to receivers. He wants to talk about Jordan Shipp. He wants to talk about a few of these other guys that he has to get, Kobe Paysour or Goss out of the backfield. I don't know what, I want to hear that. But again, maybe it's the Belichick thing. I don't want to give Belichick, I don't want to treat him like he's Yoda, is what I'm getting at here. Okay? And some of you are like, what does that mean? I see this happening with Jerry Jones. And sorry for the caller that hates talking about Jerry Jones. I'm just using it as an analogy.
That's fair.
Jerry Jones is mismanaging the Micah Parsons contract 100 different ways. And then people are saying, well, they have the documentary coming out on Netflix, and maybe Jerry Jones knows that by dragging this out, it's free publicity. They're going to be talking about the Cowboys and Micah Parsons on every show for X amount of months, and that's just building up vibes. So much so that they're at the premiere. It's a Netflix documentary. They're at the premiere, and Jerry Jones, sheepishly is like, well, if people aren't talking about the Cowboys, I have no problem doing some things or saying some things that'll get people talking about the Cowboys. And I'm going no. Don't let him reverse engineer a bad decision into 3D chess that none of us caught. This happened with, I think it was Kyrie, right? Kyrie floated out some, maybe he thinks the earth is flat. And then after everybody was like, that's so wrong. A couple weeks later, he's like, that was an experiment. I just wanted to see if y'all would believe me. And I'm, no, we're not allowed to. Can't believe that, right? Don't let, if UNC is just out-thinking themselves and doing this whole who's the starting quarterback thing, my instinct is to go, maybe Belichick knows that means Gio Lopez is going to talk about the quarterback competition for 4 minutes out of every 10-minute interview he does, and that's 6 minutes less that he can say something that he'll regret. So just keep it going. But no, I'm not giving them that weird escape door out of their logic. If you're going to treat him like the starter, if he's going to be the starter, gosh darn it, name him the starter. It's good. Trust me. Even if you've said it internally, okay? Even if you've told the team Lopez is going to start, but we're not saying it publicly because we see some competitive advantage. So everybody keep your lips sealed. We'll practice during the portions that the media can watch with equal reps. But then once the media is gone, we'll go back to getting our first team ready. Even if you've done that, I promise you, it still feels like to the players as if you're not fully on board. Because you can go back on it and it's not embarrassing, right? Actually, never mind. We changed it. Thank goodness we didn't tell everybody. You're not fully committed. If you want Gio Lopez to be as confident, or whoever's going to be your starter, but Gio Lopez, if you want Gio Lopez to be as confident and as out of his own brain to instinctually respond from the moment the game starts, name your starter. And it's different than other positions, right? I love when coaches are like, we're going to play both. It's until the one guy goes out there and leads a touchdown drive on his first series. And you know what? Never mind. That worked. We're not messing with it. It's not like running back. It's not like safety where, you're probably going to have to play a bunch of guys throughout the game. Or if, your two best players are both free safeties, you can move one to strong safety, or you can move one to nickel or whatever you want to do. It's not like that. Maybe you could work Bryce Baker in there because he's a big dude and apparently can run, the freshman. If you have a Wildcat package or the old Tim Tebow to Chris Leak deal, maybe you can make that work. But even that's more difficult than you think. It stinks as a starting quarterback having to jog off the sideline on 2nd and 1 on the 1 yard line and watch some other guy score. You may say team first, team always, team only. If you're a quarterback, you have an ego. I promise you that. As a former quarterback, you may not want to say publicly, but at some point in your life, coach said, what position do you want to play? And you said, the most important one that has the ball on every single play. You got an ego if you play that position. I promise you.